Hi and welcome to Wrist Stability Training. And in between the exercises I'm going to try to learn and read some info snippets to the ventricular aneurysm. Participating in the exercises is at your own risk, and the ventricular aneurysm is a possible lethal medical condition, and the ventricular aneurysm has to do with the blood system. The first exercise is the spotlight. We are in good line shoulders, so good stand, the arm comfortable at the side, and form to a fist, and now we're turning the fist up and to the bottom, and again up and to the bottom. We're going slowly as far as we can go with a little effort, and then we are turning again slowly around. And we're going to do one more. And we're going to do the same with the other arm. So go to line shoulders, comfortable stand, arm go to the side, and we bring a hand which is formed to a fist slowly down, and then again slowly up. And we're going as far as we can comfortably go with a little effort, and then we're turning around again. And we're going as far as we can go with a little effort, and up. And the last time, we're going down, up, and that was the spotlight. Now, ventricular aneurysm. A heart attack can happen. So it's the first thing listed here as bullet points to the ventricular aneurysm. The first thing you should have to know is a heart attack can happen. So the next exercise, the flashlight. Having good aligned shoulders and the arms at the side, form to a fist again with the hand, and we are bringing that fist now in and then out. And we're going in slowly as far as we can go with a little effort, and then we are turning slowly around and are going again into the other direction. And the last time, out, and now again in. And back. And on the other side. Go to line shoulders, arm comfortable at the side, hand form to a fist, and we are turning the fist in and out. And again in. Out. We're going slowly as far as we can go with a little effort. And then we're turning around and going slowly into the other direction. And one more time. Okay, the first thing we have to note to ventricular aneurysm is a heart attack can happen. After a heart attack, complications can happen. So after the heart attack had happened, complications can occur. So first the heart attack can happen, and then after the heart attack, complications can occur. Next exercise before we go to the third point. Now the magician, go to line shoulders, arm comfortable to the side, now with a flat hand which is turned to the sky and to the bottom. And now we're turning that hand to the inside and to the outside. We're going again slowly as far as we can go, and then we are turning slowly around and going back into the other direction. And again in, out, and one last time. Inside, slowly back. Now with the other. Go to line shoulders, arm comfortable at the side, flat hand facing the ground, and we are turning the hand to the inside and to the outside. Going slowly as fast as we can go. Then we're turning around again, going to the other direction, and one last time. So a heart attack can happen, and after a heart attack, complications can occur. The heart is not just one big cave, but it is separated by walls in different chambers. So the heart is not just one big cave, and it's not that big. It's not just one big cave, but it's separated by walls into chambers. So the heart is not one big hole or cave, but it has a separation through walls into chambers. And the next exercise, the pancake flipper, we're having good line shoulders again. We're uncomfortable at the side with the flat hand, facing to the floor, and now we're turning it to the sky. So, the pancake flipper. The palm faces to the ground, and we're turning it slowly as far as we can. Turn it to the sky. And back to the bottom. Going again up to the sky as far as we can go with a little effort. And one last time. And back. Now with the other arm, good line shoulders, uncomfortable at the side, in between the palm to the sky. And back to the ground. We're going as far as we can go with a little effort. And then we're turning around, going into the direction again as far as we can go. And the last time. It was a pancake flipper. So, a heart attack can happen, and after the heart attack, complications can occur, and the heart is not just one cave, but it is separated in different chambers by walls. If a wall in the heart separating it into different chambers has a weak patch, it swells larger to a bubble. So these walls inside of the heart can have a weak point, a weak patch, a weak spot, a place where it's weak in the wall, and then there forms a bubble. So this weak spot swells and it becomes a bubble. That's the proper next thing. If a wall in the heart has a weak spot, a bubble filled with blood forms. So there's a weak spot in the wall, and the wall gives in, and there arises a bubble, and this bubble fills with blood. It swells up with blood. Usually the wall affected is the so-called ventricular wall. And the wall which is affected inside of the heart usually is the ventricular wall. So these walls have names, and the wall affected is the ventricular wall in most cases. This bubble of blood swollen at a weak spot in the ventricular wall in the heart is the so-called ventricular aneurysm. Now we're coming to the point. So a ventricular aneurysm is in the ventricular wall. Now I don't know what wall it is and what's inside of the heart. Is at the ventricular wall a weak spot which is filled with a bubble, and this bubble inside of the ventricular wall is called a ventricular aneurysm. The next exercise. The T-Rex in the gym, having both arms out, the flat hands, and we're bringing the flat hands down, and up again, and down. We're going slowly as far as we can go with a little effort, and as soon as we've reached the point we can reach with a little effort, to turning around and going to the direction. And a last time. And that was the T-Rex in the morning. A ventricular aneurysm is a bulging bubble filled with blood in the ventricular wall, which is the wall separating the heart into different chambers, which is L wall. Okay, we have that. Now the T-Rex in the gym. If you don't have a tennis ball, do it without. So we're taking the tennis ball like this with these 4 fingers. Then we're having the hand down and arms flat from the knuckles together. And now we are pressing with moderate force. And we're releasing again. And we are pressing again. And we're releasing again. And we are pressing again. And releasing again, and we are changing. And we are pressing. And we release again. And we are pressing. and we release again. And last time, we are pressing and releasing again. That was the T-Rex in the gym. And the last point here. A bubble arisen fills with blood at a weak spot of the ventricular wall called ventricular aneurysm, which is a possible complication after a heart attack, can end fatal. Okay, the next exercise, the cautious peeping, I'm going to say it again in a moment. So we are placing the fingertips on top of the fingernails, and now we are opening that hand against that hand, which is pressing the fingertips against the fingernails of that hand. Of course, nothing here with over much force, just a little pressure. And we're going to do it one more time. Opening and closing. And now it's time to switch. Opening and closing. Opening and closing. One last time. And closing. And now to the quadrangular castle-like attack. Both hands with fists out, turning these fists towards each other. And then up. And to the outside. Down. To the inside. And again down. To the outside. And to the inside. And that was the quadrangular castle-like attack. The last exercise, go to line shoulders, arm comfortable at your side, hand formed to a fist, and returning that fist down, and pressing with the second and third finger against the index finger. All with moderate force, all careful here. And we're pressing a little more, and now from the outside. And from the top against the third finger. And from the bottom against the third finger. And now with the other arm. Go to line shoulders, arm comfortable at the side, hand formed to a fist, and returning the fist down. And pressing from the side against the index finger. And from the outside. And from the top. And from the bottom against the third finger. And that were all the exercises. Now we're going to do one last exercise to relax the extensor digitorum muscle. Extensor digitorum lies directly underneath the fingertips that are going over. And goes also here further. So it comes here, back around with the fingers here, over the middle part of the lower arm. With moderate pressure. So we're starting here beside the brachial radialis. And going over the middle part of the lower arm. And one last time. And now we're switching. And after we've done it one more time, we're done with all the wrist exercises. So, ventricular aneurysm. The heart has walls, and so the heart is separated into different chambers by walls, and one of these walls is a ventricular wall. And this ventricular wall can have, after a heart attack, a weak spot, and this weak spot can fill with blood. It bulges and creates a bubble balloon, and that is a ventricular spot, a ventricular aneurysm. Ventricular aneurysm in ventricular wall, bulging of blood where the wall wasn't stable enough and had given in to blood pressure and has filled up with blood. And this can be fatal. I thank you very much, and until next time.